had heard rumblings that he was ill. We did not know, and I don't even think his family thought that he would die when he did. He turns out he was battling leukemia and had other health problems. I mean, he was, he told me once, he said, I have absolutely no original body parts left.
Big Boy's Neighborhood. He is back in the neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen, straight from TMZ. Harvey Levin, welcome back to the neighborhood, my man.
Hey, Big Boy. How you doing?
I am doing amazing, bro. Before we get into anything, man, TMZ presents The Real Hulk Hogan. We've had a chance to sit down and do these conversations quite a bit on the TMZ Presents. I texted you yesterday when I saw the screener, and I was like, Harvey, this story and the way that TMZ put this TMZ Presents The Real Hulk Hogan is effing amazing, bro.
You can't talk about somebody's life by just looking at it in a one-dimensional way. And he was an amazingly successful guy, but there were conflicts. The sex tape talking about not wanting to have his daughter date black men. And he had made some racist comments on a call to Nick in jail.
It was unforgivable. When those things occurred, that's not like him.
Amazing.
I really
Great work.
appreciate that. Thank you.
How was it? Because, I mean, immediately when it starts, I could not stop watching it because it starts right there kind of in the dugout where you guys get the information that Hulk Hogan passed.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing a lot of YouTube these days, and we stream a lot here. We stream every morning, so people can watch, and we actually use the stream to actually create one of our TV shows, TMZ Live. And so we were shooting during our morning meeting, and we were just talking about different stories that were out there. And then all of a sudden, Michael Babcock, the guy who runs our sports department, I see him just grab a telephone, and I didn't even know this was happening, but they were working on something, and Babcock just went crazy, and he's pointing at me and saying, Hulk died, Hulk died. And it was just like, all of a sudden, it's like, oh my God. Because by the way, and I've known Hulk knew him for many, many years. So it was really shocking. But, we needed to then confirm, and we needed to put it up on the site. And we actually were shooting the whole thing. So we actually began the documentary with that.
Did we hear, Harvey, anything? And of course, you would see Hulk Hogan with a cane. It looked like he was slowing down. But as TMZ, as a staff, as a network, as a show, as a stream, Harvey Levin, had you guys heard anything that Hulk Hogan was, oh, really?
We had heard rumblings that he was ill. We did not know, and I don't even think his family thought that he would die when he did.
Okay.
It turns out he was battling leukemia and had other health problems. I mean, he was, he told me once, he said, I have absolutely no original body parts left.
Wow.
He's had so many surgeries, and we knew he was ill, but did not know it was coming to this when it did.
In such a short time, Harvey Levin, how do you guys pull so many people that participated in the sit down? Vince McMahon,
I mean,
like it was Nick Foley, so many people, great legends that's had a chance to sit down with you. And we're talking relatively quick.
Sylvester Stallone, Goldberg, Mark Henry. Yeah, I mean, we got great people on this. I have a great staff. I have a great staff. And look, I mean, this is what we do. We cover stories, and we have a sports department, and we have relationships with a lot of these people. So you get on the telephone and you book it quick, and we did, and we have. Vince McMahon never does interviews.
Right.
Never does interviews. And that was amazing that he sat down and really talked about Hulk, both, the good and the bad.
You can see the pain in his voice and just written all over him also. And I don't want to give away too much of TMZ Presents The Real Hulk Hogan, but there was one part when they did the 10 bell salute, and you asked Vince McMahon this question about he wish he was there, and you could just see the hurt. You could definitely see the hurt. And another one when I was at that WWE event that night when they booed the Hulk.
Yeah.
When they booed Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And when you spoke with him about that, and he was like, they kind of just threw him out.
He was pissed.
Yeah. When he said they kind of just threw him out there, you don't do a guy like that.
And it's really, what he was slamming was really the organization.
Yes.
Saying you just threw this guy out there and you didn't create a moment and everything else. You could tell he was really angry.
When you go in to do something like this, Harvey, and saying that you've had a chance to know Hulk Hogan and you've interviewed Hulk Hogan and you did, special shows with him as well, are you still in a position, Harvey, where you know how to detach the Harvey personal with the Harvey professional? Or is it one and the same?
It's not one and the same. I mean, if you noticed, when we got word, I didn't stop to kind of reflect or think or anything like that. I mean, these are two different jobs. And the guiding light for me, and I was just a kid, but I will never forget Walter Cronkite when JFK was shot. And it struck me when I was 12 years old and I watched it. And he was just, he knew John F. Kennedy, and you could tell it was ripping him apart, but he, delivered the news. And I remember just thinking, my God, this guy must be just reeling inside. But he was so professional, and it just always struck me. I've never forgotten that moment. And, if you noticed, I mean, look, I've known, Hulk Hogan for many years. So it obviously has an impact when you hear it. You have to detach. I mean, there's no time. I mean, you saw it yourself when you watched the beginning. There's no time to do that. There's just no time.
When I saw the beginning, Harvey, and the way that it unfolded, and you just told everybody, meet me at my desk. I was like, this is the most beautiful, pull in. Because I'm a documentary guy. I don't watch any scripted television. Not at all. I love documentaries, and I love, behind the scenes, and I love seeing how things are put together. And I thought that's why I texted you yesterday, bro, and I was like, you guys did such an amazing job. But also when I say an amazing job is that you guys covered, to me, TMZ as a staff and with the presents, y'all covered everything enough. It was enough of the legend, enough of the friends and speaking on them, enough when it came to the surgeries, and then also enough because you guys had to hit the racial side as well. And as I'm sitting there watching it, I'm like, of course Harvey and TMZ are going to go there. And that's one of those things when I saw him get booed, and also with the Make America Great Again kind of stuff. There were things that there's a legacy, but there's a legacy to some people. You know how you make these great deposits, and then a withdrawal can come, and the withdrawal could be very mighty. I felt like that's what happened with Hulk Hogan on a lot, that there was a withdrawal and people felt
think
a
that's
certain way.
That is a really interesting way of putting it, and I think that's a really, I wish I would have put that in the documentary. That's a really interesting way of kind of encapsulating it. You're right. It is, you deposit a lot, but then all of a sudden at once you withdraw a lot.
Yeah.
And there's still something left, but not what it was before before the withdrawal.
Yeah.
And listen, it's something obviously it didn't just happen. I mean, we talked about it. We said, how much are we going to devote, to the racism part? And, we're not going to ignore the successes by any means. And what we wanted to do were a couple of things. Paint a real picture of his life, which is not one-dimensional. A lot of successes, a lot of missteps. And then at the same time, show the extremes. Show the people who just blindly love him, and then show the people who really dislike him. To show there are extremes, that some people don't view it the way you just said. It's all or nothing. And I wanted to show some of the all or nothing part too.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. It felt like you guys had to cover a lot of the enoughs, and y'all covered them very well. And being, everyone was kind of raised on Hulk Hogan. There's so many Hulk Hogan isms and the brothers, and and even watching when from Rocky and the things that he did with wrestling, he became a household name to many of us, you know. But then also, man, when I heard the tapes, you know what I'm saying? And then when I heard the N-word, it's one of those things, Harvey, where I'm just like, ah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, when somebody's...
Yeah, and you know what was really interesting, as you say that, was Mark Henry. Because, you know, he's a black guy who was really good friends with him, but not only didn't excuse it,
right,
but was appalled by it and didn't think Hulk handled it well. And I thought just the honesty of saying, look, I have different feelings. I love the guy. I was inspired by the guy, but I think not only what he did was awful, but the way he handled it was bad. And I just think that kind of honesty was really, really interesting and complex.
And paraphrasing, I know when Nick Foley, when he said, do you judge a person by
their worst moments?
By their worst moments. You know what I'm saying? And it was wild. It was crazy watching it and the way that you guys put it together. And even with the night when I was there and they booed him, and I just saw some goofy shit too. I ain't gonna lie to you. When I started seeing the American beer and, you know, and then just going and doing, but my thing is this: whatever he was doing on the Trump side and all that kind of shit, I got kids. I was raising my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't getting up every day on some F Hulk Hogan kind of thing, you know. And I could just give enough where I say, okay, you know what? I enjoyed him. Rest in peace. I saw this piece right here. I thought you guys covered it extremely well, bro. And for those that want, go ahead.
Can I ask you a question?
Please do.
And this is something I haven't figured out, but you were there, so I'm really interested in what you think. My recollection is that the event where he was booed actually went down in Inglewood on January 6th,
yes,
which is an interesting date.
A couple months before he died, he had his final entrance into the ring, and he was booed.
I think that hurt him immensely that night.
Was he booed primarily because of the racist comments or because he became the star of the Republican National Convention for Trump?
I think it was all that. I think it was a gumbo. I think everything was in the pot, and it was it was boiling. I think it was everything. And what's wild about that too, Harvey, is it was in Inglewood, California, January 6th. I think that if he would have walked out in Texas or probably walked out in Florida, you know, maybe walked out in Vegas, who knows? But Florida and maybe it wouldn't have been as such. But I'm telling you, when they booed him, Harvey, I was shocked because I heard the music and I heard the intro, and then we were like, oh, damn. And then I was next to one of our guys named Bootleg Kev, who's like a WWE. I mean, he walked down and stole somebody else's seats to sit next to us. But I'll talk with him about it. But when I saw how excited he got, so when I saw his excitement, and then when I heard the boos, you know, in real time, you're like, wait, are they booing? And then it just got overwhelming, and I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, this is, it's extremely real, man. Extremely real. But for those,
and it really, really devastated him.
Oh, I can imagine. You know, and I've been in radio, Harvey, for 31 years, right? And there's times when I get on the mic and I walk out on stage and I'll say to myself, like, what if this is the night where all that love and all those deposits, what if this was the withdrawal night and I just got booed? You know what I'm saying? I couldn't imagine, you know, and when you guys covered all the things like, you know, the Make-A-Wish and, you know, there's human elements that you guys covered as well. But there's just things like you'll see people that do beautiful things, but then it's that one thing or those things that happen and you'll be judged by that, by many. So I thought.
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. And that never went away.
Nah.
Even though he was brought back to WWE, it never went away.
Nah,
and he
man.
knew it. And he knew it.
Hey, Harvey, I do want to ask you this, too, before we wrap up. TMZ Presents The Real Hulk Hogan premieres Tuesday, August 12th at 8/7 Central on Fox, and next day it's available on Hulu. Shannon Sharpe legal settlement. Did he give that girl $23 million?
I don't know the amount.
Thank you.
I don't know the amount. You know, look, I have no idea. Sometimes, you know, the payment sometimes is for the wrongdoing, and sometimes the payment is to end it.
Right.
And sometimes it's a combination of both.
Man, they said that Shannon Sharpe made $23 million in his football career. I was like, man, you just gave her your whole effing football career.
I don't know honestly, Big Boy, what he paid. I think it's confidential, so I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, we've been hearing this number 23. And, you know, I guess if I didn't hear it from you, sometimes I just can't believe shit either, though. You know what I'm saying? And you got to think how we were talking about.
Man.
Yeah.
You're a smart man.
Oh, my God, bro. And now with AI and everything, I don't even know what I'm looking at. But it's wild when you were talking about Walter Cronkite, right? And Walter Cronkite being that guy that, know how to separate a friendship, but also delivering a lot of things first. That's with you guys as well, man. There's some first. And you said as watching as a kid, and you're seeing that there's so many firsts that we collectively, Harvey, got from TMZ, even with the passing of Malcolm Jamal Warner, right? That just came from nowhere on me, bro. And it's one of those Walter Cronkite, JFK moments for us, too.
And I got to tell you, from here, it's a weird thing. When you find out about Kobe Bryant, you find out about Michael Jackson, you find out about, Hulk or Randy Savage or whoever it is, or Prince.
Yeah.
And you push that button. When you watched Lucas in our office say, it's up, when you push the button, that just goes around the world. And it goes from nobody knowing to just everybody knowing in a second. And it is a weird feeling right before you push that button. That's always the moment.
Hey, Harvey, can you take me behind the curtain or show me how you guys saw the woman in half? There was something in the documentary where your guy, you said his name is Lucas, what's his name? Lucas. Was he the one saying that he had 127 words or something like that?
125 words.
Hulk died.
Can I ask you something? Have you heard anything about Hulk?
No.
Is there any way I can talk to him? It's really important.
He died this morning.
Huh?
Hulk died this morning.
Did he confirm cardiac arrest?
He's been having health problems. He stopped breathing.
Okay, come to my desk.
Hold on, Lucas has a post.
Can I post this?
Lucas, we're gonna do a paragraph.
I got 135 words.
He's got 100. Harvey, listen to me. He's got 135 words. You can post it now.
Post it.
What does that mean?
It means that you need to have some substance before you publish. You can't just do a headline.
Right.
You need to put something up. And I had said to him, put a paragraph up and post it. And Lucas fired back, I got 125 words, which, in my head is more than a paragraph. So I was satisfied by hearing the number of words he had, that he had enough substance that we could post the story.
All righty. Diddy updates, man. At one point, Diddy's lawyer came out and said that he was going to do a Madison Square Garden concert. And I was like, what the hell? And then he came back like, hey, hold on for a second. We're not doing all that.
Yeah, so I interviewed him late yesterday, Mark Agnifilo. He's going to be on our show today. And it's actually it's up on YouTube. And it was really fascinating. Number one, he said, look, I wasn't saying he's going to get out and immediately do MSG. He's going to deal with his family. This could be years, if ever. But yeah, that could be a thing, but not immediately. It's not like I'm going right to MSG.
Yeah.
The really interesting thing he said to me, I asked him about whether he would ask the judge for home confinement.
Right.
When he's sentenced on October 3rd, because I had talked to him just before that about getting therapy, and he said to me, we're already assembling a group of professionals on the outside. So as soon as I heard him say on the outside, I thought, wait a minute. So I said, are you going to be asking the judge for home confinement? Because he had said you can't get the kind of help he needs in prison. He needs real professional help on a higher level. And so I said, are you going to ask for home confinement and not prison? And he said, possibly. But I got to tell you, of course he is.
Right.
Of course he is. I mean, you know, the worst that can happen is the judge says no. But if he doesn't, it's almost malpractice. You know, I mean, he's clearly going to ask it. You know, Agnifilo hedged it, but he will ask for home confinement.
Yeah, which is
and using therapy as the reason.
And that's wild because even with some of the bail asks, I thought like, oh man, it's $50 million. He's giving up his passport. So even after, you know, some of the charges went away, I was like, oh, he'll probably get bail this time. So if it's the same judge that they're going to for home confinement, good luck on that.
Look, I agree with you. In the end, the judge, I don't think will give him home confinement. Certainly not at the beginning. They could do a split where he serves a certain amount of time in prison, then a certain amount home confinement. I mean, that's another thing I think that's on the table for Agnifilo. That's what I was sensing, because he talked about supervised release. If you'll hear those words, but look, when they denied bail, the judge denying bail is different than sentencing. With denying bail, you know, you can look beyond the crime when he gets sentenced. I mean, the reality, big boy, is this. How many people go to Burbank Airport on a Friday afternoon with a hooker and take them to Vegas? More than a couple.
I know I haven't a few times, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
did somebody call you about this story?
That's what he was convicted of.
Right.
I mean, that's what he was convicted of. It's not the violence, not any alleged rape or anything like that. He was convicted of the same thing that I just mentioned about Burbank Airport.
Right.
That's the crime.
And
so my feeling is he's going to get 1 to 2 years. And, you know, the judge may look at some of the history, but the reality is he's a first-time offender, and the crime is a BS crime.
Yeah, and they wrote that Mann Act damn near during slavery.
They did. It wasn't racist. The whole idea of the Mann Act was to prohibit black men from dating white women. That was the point of the Mann Act. And if you look at the history of it with Chuck Berry and other black people who were prosecuted under it, there is a history of racism. And Agnifilo brought that up during the trial. And so, look, it's not, he never would have been prosecuted if it was only a Mann Act violation. Right. So the reason he was prosecuted, he was acquitted on all those charges. So what you're left with is, you know, Burbank to Vegas.
Right.
And I don't think the judge is going to throw the book at him by any means.
And Harvey, just real quick, what do you think about the Trump pardon? You think that could be a possibility?
Well, I know they've been speaking. I know the defense was in touch with the White House. But I also heard Donald Trump say, I'm pissed off that he opposed me in the last election. And so it's unlikely. And if you know one thing about Donald Trump, he punishes his enemies and rewards his friends. And in the end, Diddy wasn't his friend. So my guess is remote.
All righty. Well, Harvey Levin, I appreciate you and your time. Don't forget, TMZ presents The Real Hulk Hogan. And I'm telling you, if you guys, I mean, you could be a fan of Hulk Hogan, not a fan, but it is great work. Great work, man. And that's TMZ presents The Real Hulk Hogan. And that premieres Tuesday, August 12th at 8/7 Central on Fox. And next day, it's available for you on Hulu. Once again, Harvey, thank you so much. And I told you I'm on my way to Vegas. I'm going to go see Lenny Kravitz with my wife. Nice. And I'm going to give you the exclusive.
Wait a minute. Are you leaving from the Burbank Airport?
Yes. But I'm taking my wife this time. But I was telling him how Lenny Kravitz is like my wife's like crush. And I told him, I said, man, I'm giving you a heads up. The exclusive is I got this meet and greet. And as soon as I see him, I'm going to punch him right in his face. I'm knocking his dreads off his face. You know? But Harvey, always a pleasure speaking to you, my man.
Hey,
once again,
thank you so much.
Thank you. Harvey Levin in the neighborhood right there, man. Once again, TMZ presents The Real Hulk Hogan, premieres Tuesday, August 12th at 8/7 Central on Fox, and next day available on Hulu. Y'all stick around, Big Boy's Neighborhood.